I'm Dara of Fair to Midland.
I'm John, same band.
For some reason, the Eagle has asked us to come out to their radio station and talk about our new album, Arrows and Anchors. It comes out on Tuesday. Got our CD release at the Curtain Club. It's the first album we've put out in 7 years with all new material. So, everybody's got that to look forward to. It's been a long time coming.
There's a lot of talk about how the album is a lot darker than previous albums. What is the cause for that?
We were in the sun a lot making this record, so.
It's bronzer. No, it's I guess it's just a reflection of where we were at the time. We went through new management, new label, excuse me, anything and everything that could have gone haywire did, and just made it tough for us. That's one of the reasons why it's taken us so long to write the album, and I think that affected a lot in our personal lives too. So, and of course, like any other kind of medium, I guess it affects the work. You know.
Yeah, I think the personal life stuff might be more of a reason why it was dark than the actual business side of things.
I think they kind of went hand in hand, but I don't know. If we, I think if we try to pinpoint exactly what it was, we'll just start getting mad and sad. And
I mean, if I'd have had a wife during that period, we probably would have got divorced.
you'd probably be in jail. You probably would have beat her. Maybe a lot of domestic disputes.
And what would
Let's
cause
shine a good
those?
light on John now.
What would have caused domestic disputes?
I've never hit a girl.
Yet.
Sometimes you gotta shake him real good though.
But it was just a really hard time for all of us, and it's affected the material, our personal lives, how we treat each other and talk to each other, and it's made everything tough. And
Like, what were some specific things that happened, if you don't mind elaborating?
Being broke.
Just yeah.
Having to make a record, but still have to work to afford to go to the studio and work on songs. Like we had to do like lead 2 different lives at the same time just to get anything done. We didn't have the ability just to, whenever we wanted to, get in the studio and start writing songs. We had to like, okay, I can work these days this week, and I can come practice these days this week. And 2 years of that sucks.
And it was frustrating too whenever there's one in particular you want to make the priority. Obviously, the job you use to just pay for gas or whatever else to get you to the studio and everything. I mean, you don't want that to be the priority, and you don't want. I mean, you want people that have enough faith in you as a musician, and what you do, and believe in you enough to get behind you, and that's going to affect your mentality.
And then you ask your label for help, and they just kind of laugh at you. So.
So, your first few albums you guys did independently, and then Serge Sankey and got on board. How did that happen?
We met Serge through his cousin, which we're still very good friends with. I guess he was just a fan. I mean, I guess anybody and everybody who says that they don't want the respect of their peers is just lying. I mean, so it was nice. It was nice to get someone tell us that of his stature that they respected what we did and wanted to be a part of it. We met him out in L.A. He said he wanted to work with us on the last record, and we worked with him, and we've since parted ways. I mean, we have a full plate, he has a full plate. It was just kind of understood on both sides. He comes from a completely different place than we do, and we come from a completely different place than he does. So for us to try to understand each other and what it is he's trying to do, and him understand what it is we're trying to do, it's just a struggle. So everything was amicable, and we're all still good friends, but it made more sense for us in the long run to just kind of try to develop our own musical identity.
So it was kind of like, it was a stepping stone. He kind of helped carry you to a new place, and then you realized that this was kind of as far as you were going to be able to grow with him.
I wouldn't give him that much credit. He helped a little bit, but I mean,
right.
Like when we made the record, he was in New Zealand.
Right.
So He's kind of just like a name and a figurehead, like just a name in the footnotes.
Something that says credibility, basically. Gotcha. Okay, so speaking of like where you're coming from and where you're going, I mean, from Sulphur Springs. So, and the band started 1998.
Yeah, roughly.
So how do you stay committed to a project that long, especially on a low budget and with all of the, I mean, everything that you guys have to go through together?
I don't know. Maybe we're just tenacious to a fault.
Well, I haven't been in it that long.
No, he hasn't been. Cliff and I have been doing it that long. I don't know. Just too stubborn to quit. I don't know what else to do. And I don't know how to work with people, I can tell you that. So it's hard enough working with, 4 other people or, yeah. I don't know where else I'll fit.
How do you join a band that's already established?
Well, I'd already known him personally because we're, like I said, from the same hometown, and the band I was in at the time was the second band from Sulphur Springs. So there's pretty much only 2 bands from Sulphur Springs.
What's the other band?
We were called the Timeline Post.
Okay.
They're not together anymore, but the singer and I are talking about doing a little project sometime in the near far future. But anyhow, their bass player left, and I don't know if they tried anybody out or what. I don't think it had anything to do with playing ability. I think it just had to do with, like, we want to know the guy that's going to join our band, and they knew me and pretty much knew I'd show up for practice. And the bass parts at the time weren't much to learn, so.
That was the selling point, attendance. So he'll show up.
I mean, I've only missed like 2 practices since like 2005, so I think I'm doing pretty good. If I was in school, I'd get some medals.
I think so. Or reserve parking.
I did get attendance award in 1st grade.
First grade?
Didn't miss a day.
That's dedication, right there.
What about once you were responsible for taking yourself?
Huh?
When you were responsible for taking yourself. That's Mama should have got that prize.
Yeah. Well, I gave her the award at the end
Oh,
of the
there
day.
you go. All right. That's good. But once you got the car, this is all interesting
I didn't get a
stuff.
car till way later. My sister took me to school a lot. I missed first period a lot. When you divide up your day into, like,
I think you're being a little selective about tooting your horn.
I said toot.
I did say toot.
So were there any shows or festivals? I know you guys played Coachella. I mean, that had to have been really nerve-wracking knowing that everybody from the industry pretty much is going to be out there.
But we had, it was easier for us because we played at like 1:30 in the afternoon, and so like nobody really comes out there.
I've been out there. It's hotter than balls at 1 in the afternoon.
It was ridiculous hot at Coachella. I got dry heaved a little bit. We played Download, we played Rock am Ring, Rock am Park in Germany, we played Wacken.
Mm-hmm.
We've gotten to play some awesome festivals all across the country. We've been lucky there. Overseas, it seems kind of cliche to say. Because
It's not such a scenester area of the world as America. Like, people like rock, all kinds of rock, and doesn't matter like what kind of T-shirts or what kind of hairstyles the bands have. If it's a band they like, they aren't embarrassed to say they like it. They don't care if the guy next to them likes it. They just don't care what anybody says. If they like a band, they like a band. And here it's kind of like what band you like is just as important as like what brand of jeans you wear now. It's like,
I think they're here more prone to kind of hold on to or pay attention to something that's a little more left of center too. I think they're a little more open to it. Over here, acquired tastes aren't as popular, and I don't know, instant gratification seems to be a little more popular over here. Maybe I hate to generalize like that too, but just from our experience, that seems to be the case.
Gotcha. So what about some of the songs on your new album? Like, I noticed one was called Ricky Tikki Tavi, Rudyard Kipling. So.
oh, Ruddy. Good bro of ours.
I mean, do you read the Jungle Book in your bunk? Is that what it is? Is that where it came from?
He does pop-up books. He doesn't like to read.
I'm a visual guy. I like somebody to paint the picture for me.
Mama read the book.
Of course, I quit doing pop-up books way back. I don't even mess with books anymore.
There you go. You want to talk about Ricky Tikki? Tabby? Or do you not want to because you hadn't read the book?
Do you know what
I
the
feel like a
story's
hack.
about?
It's about a mongoose and a snake. No. That's a song that I like it, but it's not my favorite. Like I shouldn't even talk about this song.
Do you hate the
See,
song?
well, no, it's
I
not that
came
he
up with
hates
a-
it, and people, and we're always catching poop. I censored myself. Did you like that?
I did. I
About
did. I
that.
appreciate that.
I'm doing good. Make your job easier. I mean, we're just being candid. I mean, like,
That was one of those
sure,
songs.
a lot of us love the song in the band, and just because it's not our favorite, again, doesn't mean he's saying it's not good. But it's just,
No, I'll
it's not
never
his
say it's
favorite.
not good. It's just not my thing. Of
Well,
course.
what's your favorite song
In the world or on the record?
on the record?
I've got lots of favorites. It depends on like
It's a diplomatic response.
my favorite song on the record. I couldn't tell you just one. I like Copper Tank Island. I like Whiskey and Ritalin. I like Golden Parachutes. I like Amarillo. There's a lot of stuff on the record I like for different reasons. Different parts of different songs that like are my favorite part. I have a lot of parts of the record that I like this few seconds of this song. Like that's how I look at it. I like moments. I have a lot of great moments in this record.
Could you tell us about a
Not-
few moments?
I said I have a lot of great moments, and I don't mean like, man, that bass was awesome with this. My favorite moment on the record is probably the guitar solo on Amarillo. Just because it was really fun making it, because it required more than just a guitar player. Like it was like a 3-man solo. Like he had the little talk box, the little Peter Frampton thing, and had like an old, barely working wah pedal. So Cliff was playing guitar, and he was on the talk box, and I was just finagling a pedal, and it ended up being really cool. It was probably one of the funnest 30 minutes of recording.
But back to Ricky Tiki Tabby. You wanna talk about that?
Yeah,
you had a bigger part in writing that one. You included.
Yeah. Cliff had his laptop there, and he made the worst drum beat ever on his laptop, and I was laying on my back with the bass, laying on my stomach, and just wrote out a slow bass. I thought it was gonna be a pretty song.
Yeah, it initially was a pretty song.
It's kind of a scary song.
Yeah,
It's
so
very
I
bipolar.
wrote the part very slow, and then it got fast just for a few seconds at the end, and I came back to the studio about 2 weeks later, and the whole song was just,
Oh, you were there for the bulk of it.
it hadn't been
You
changed
weren't.
fast, and while I was there for the whole entire time.
We were getting pressure to write stuff, just spit it out. just
And
spit
yeah, and
it out.
that was,
So we were like, okay, like if they just want us to spit it out, which we're completely uncomfortable with. In the past we've always had, kind of had to take our time because it doesn't. We don't feel like it comes naturally to us. But so we hadn't done it in a long time, a really long time, since probably our first self-funded release. But so we just spit something out, and then kind of made ourselves stick with it.
and we kind of did it out of spite.
Yeah.
It wasn't really we were trying to write a great song. It was just the guy at the label. I'm not going to mention names, even though he's been mentioned previously in this interview. But
That was your Cobra.
yeah, he was like, wow. And we were asking him. We called him up. Was like, should we be in a rush to write these songs, or should we take our time? And in one conversation, he was like, yeah, just take your time. Just let the writing happen. And in the same week, it was like, okay, I want a song by the end of the day or something like that.
Is that why the song's bipolar?
Yeah, it's kind of like when we were arranging that song, it took probably 30 minutes. It was just kind of like, okay, what are we going to do now? Somebody be like, how about this? Sure. Nobody questioned anything. It was just like, all right, how about we put the bridge after the first chorus, and it'll totally be crazy. Nobody like it.
So do you not like the song because it's associated with bad memories?
No,
I think he feels it's too quirky.
Yeah, I don't want it to be the main song because I feel like it's somewhat of a novelty,
Hmm.
and I always try to stray from that.
It's like your B-side. If we still had cassette tapes.
It's like my backside.
Or B-sides.
That could
So,
still be your B-side.
well, your first single, though, is Musical Chairs, which we've been playing. So, can you tell us about that one a little bit?
That one was kind of Matt's baby. We've had that one for a while, but it went through. I mean, that's one of those songs that took us forever to write. We had a good chorus for it. We had good intro and outro, but the verses weren't there yet. So we just kept working on it, and I mean, it turned out good. I don't know how many times we revised that song. I don't know. Matt did a good job with it. String parts are awesome in it.
I think the trickiest part about the verse is what the bass was going to do. That was something, and when on Fables we were trying to do something with that song, it just wasn't working, and we got back home, and I think we were just in the practice studio getting ready to tour, and like we just kind of like, yeah, while we're here, let's mess with this song, and I don't even remember whose idea it was, but there's a piano line that goes to. It was your idea that said I do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you're like, no, I don't.
Well,
there's no way.
There's a really fast piano line, and like, why don't you do it on the bass? I was like, dude, you've heard me play. I can't do that. And
I use my signature line.
You'll be a badass.
You'll look like a badass if you can.
And yeah, so yeah, I'm a badass.
So he's like your muse, basically.
That's right.
That's depressing.
Chew on that.
I don't want to.
So what about some of the other songs on the album? Well, like I'm gonna assume you write the lyrics.
Sure.
So what is that process like for you?
That's not really that tough for me. Just kind of have a general idea. I'm always vague. I'm too much of a pansy to be direct with my lyrics, so I keep them a little vague and cryptic. I don't know. As some sort of safeguard. I'm not sure. That way everybody, I guess, can make them their own too, or I'll use that as some excuse as to why I'm vague and cryptic. I mean, that's not. I never have a hard time getting in the headspace to write lyrics. It's always trying to write music that is, poses the biggest challenge.
Do you blame that on your Sulphur Springs education? That was a joke. I'm kidding.
Sounds good.
Our moms were both teachers in the Sulphur Springs school system, so like we gotta watch what we say.
But in all fairness, my mom taught special ed. So, I mean, yours taught English. You get a kick out of that over there? Yours taught what, English?
Yeah, the English teacher, but I don't read.
See, and I went to school to major in English, and my mom was a special ed teacher.
I don't know whether there's a connection or an irony there or anything. It's just a funny thing to talk about.
It is funny.
You had a bit of an accident, and then a song came out of it.
You wrote a song about that?
That's what it says on Wikipedia.
What song was it?
The Limbo one. Wait a minute.
I know it was whenever
Or it
we
was
showed some footage of that wreck we had.
Oh.
And
okay.
they did put that music from that song, but we didn't set out to write a song for it. I don't think we.
So
ever,
Wiki's a liar.
Mm-hmm.
Wiki's always a liar. No, we didn't write a song about the wreck. Although that definitely, I mean, when we were talking earlier about stuff setting us back and stuff making it harder, that was definitely a big stick in the spoke. So.
How so?
Just again, I mean, the bulk of it was independently funded by ourselves. So once we lost the band, I had to try to get a new one. I mean, our equipment got jacked, not stolen, just jacked up. Not in shape, jacked up.
Broken.
It got broken. Busted.
English,
yeah. No. I didn't get anything from it or didn't change anything.
I got a big hospital bill.
Yeah, I mean.
With no health insurance, I'm imagining.
They helped out a very little bit, but $1,500 on a $50,000 bill is not really that much help.
So what about your management change?
Well, I mean, we still have Frank. We just left the company because the company kind of sucked.
Yeah, it's like most people don't know what to do with this. We're not heavy enough for the really heavy acts, and we're too. I don't know. Finish my sentence for me, please. Try to make me sound smarter than I am.
We're too heavy for the lighter acts.
We're too heavy for the light acts. Yeah. Sorry, I lose my train of thought sometimes. Don't speak too well.
We'll just call your mom. She can help you out.
Yeah, she can.
Yeah, put you right back on track.
I can get her on speaker if you like.
So when you guys go back to Sulphur Springs, does anybody care?
I'm when as soon as this is over, I guess I'll go.
We're
You
all
still
kinda
live there now?
scattered.
Do you still live with your moms? No comment?
Like I said, like the years making this record were tough years. Oh. It's not really something to talk about.
That's why the van was really important,
it's
right?
really hard to get dates, like when when your parents don't go on vacation that often.
No one can say we haven't sacrificed anything to make this record, and God, people can't hear that. They're just deaf. When people ask us about the album, I mean, we're happy to have gotten to a point where we're done with it and anxious to see how it gets received. But that's what's tough about it. It's tough being positive.
I'm more happy about it than just being done.
Well,
I like it.
I'm not trying to say that. I'm not trying to say that. I like it too. But whenever people like it, it's hard to stay. We're not salesmen. Like that's what I mean.
That's what
We
Frank's
don't know how
for.
to push. Yeah, we don't know. Well, there's tons of musicians out there that are nowadays, and they're great at it. And that's one of our faults is we're not salesmen, and we're candid to a fault too. Sometimes when people ask us about the album, we're honest with them and tell them it was hard and don't know what the hell we're doing or gonna do.
That's what he says. I just say it's good.
You're a little more upbeat.
Mm-hmm.
You're like the leprechaun.
I'm the yin to his yang, or
There you
the yin
go.
to his yang.
Uh,
I'm the yin to the yin.
does that scare you though? I mean, are you afraid that like, oh, if you get into a happier place, maybe the music won't be quite as... I mean, do you think you can write
I don't think
happy-go-lucky
that's
music?
I don't think that's gonna be a problem.
You're pretty morose altogether.
He doesn't like to be happy, even when he is. He's more depressed when he's happy because he's pissed off about being happy.
Is that how that works?
I think so.
Man, having a hard time wrapping my head around that that little statement. I'm pissed off because I'm happy.
I'm just throwing
It's just,
stuff out
this
there.
just isn't working.
He's
for me.
smiling now. Let's see your mad face.
I can do a really good sad face.
Okay, let's
If
see.
I do my mad face, I just look.
Normal?
I don't know, like
Mad.
I'm a gay predator.
Blue steel?
Yeah, I look like
Like Predator the movie, or like the show Predator?
To catch a predator.
Well, we don't want you to look like
Like-
that.
Like I should
That's
be
like pedophiles,
whenever I
right?
try to do a mad face, I look like I should talk with a lisp.
I'm just trying to understand what you're getting at. Predator the movie or Predator the show?
Well, neither.
Okay.
Predator,
Predator
the thing.
from the movie.
The thing from the movie? This is turned into an Abbott and Costello skit.
I'm thinking the movie Predator, the guy, the monster from Predator.
I mean, just any predator, not necessarily.
Oh.
You know, getting this?
I was hoping.
Oh, well, we're getting all of
We're
it,
get-
yeah.
we're-
yeah.
We're giving you gold here.
Yeah, this is good.
I mean,
This is good.
You've got so
This
much.
is the first time we've talked in like 3 months, so.
See, look, people will have us to thank, the Eagle, for
That's debatable.
putting you two in the same room together and making you talk, work through your issues.
I was joking. It was just 2 months.
We're gonna need y'all to come out, pick up album, come on down to 12 to 12.
Vote for Don.
Yeah, come down to Curtain Club. CD, it's well worth it.